Hello everyone, this is High Priestess Tana coming back with another video. This video is actually going to touch base on ex-lovers, like what is going on or possibly what's going on with your ex-lover and your feelings towards you. This is really my first time really doing this type of reading in front of like a public platform, so this is going to be fun. So I've already like meditated over the cards and cleansed them, so let's get into the reading. For the collective, what do your ex-lovers have to say to them right now? Holy Spirit. Just be just being near you is intoxicating. Wow. Next we have I left when I saw you with someone. Interesting. This back. Next we have I replay our conversations over and over. The timing just wasn't right for us. I lost myself for a little while. I wish things could be different. It was my fault, but I blamed you. I love you unconditionally. I feel you leaving me behind. And at the bottom of the deck, we have finding out the truth crushed me. And at the top, we have I love you. Oh, wow. That's powerful. Well, those are some powerful messages in general. So let's get started with the first card. So just being near you is intoxicating. So I'm getting that someone who you may have been involved with may have been really, really, really in love with you, and they just like couldn't contain themselves. Like you were like a drug to them in a sense. You were like their drug. You could have gave them like an adrenaline rush. I left you. Well, I left when I saw you with someone. Okay, this is what's rather interesting. What I'm picking up is that your ex-lover, in some cases, some of you may have dealt with an ex-lover who thought they saw you with someone else, but that wasn't even really you. That's the kicker right there. That's the flip side of it. I left when I saw you with someone. I think that what I'm getting here is that your ex-lover, in some cases, some of you had an ex-lover who may have been out and about with family and friends, and they thought they saw you with someone else, but that just wasn't you. It could have been someone who resembled you from a distance, and they just assumed that that was you. Or someone sent them pictures or a video or something claiming that it was you, and it really wasn't you. Now, in some other cases, I'll be perfectly honest, this really was you with someone else. This is the thing. I think at the time when you were out with this other person, it's because you didn't know where the relationship had stood when you were dealing with this person. Although you may have been madly in love with this other person who finds you to be intoxicating. I feel like the feeling was mutual, that you both were intoxicated. Well, you felt intoxicated when you both were around each other. But what I'm getting is that some of you guys may have started to date someone else while you were still connected to this other person. And it was because there was a lack of communication. There was a lot of confusion. There was a lot of drama that could have been just swirling around in a relationship. There was a lack of clarity and emotional detachment as well. In some cases, you saw your person with someone and you chose to leave them because someone could have sent you evidence that they were involved with someone else. There definitely were receipts. I'm getting that. And this really traumatized you and you had to leave. Any person with a peace of mind, and especially if they have a lot of dignity, no offense to anyone, is not about to keep staying with someone if they know that they're dealing with somebody else and you claim to be in love with me, but you're off with someone else. I'm not about to keep being bothered with you because apparently it's something broken in our connection. And clearly you're showing that you're not as interested as you claim to be when it comes to our connection. So some of you left this person. And some of you, similarly, you thought that you saw this person with someone else and it really wasn't them. This could have been somebody who could have eerily looked like them. And there was some confusion. Okay, next, I replay our conversations over and over. I'm getting that it's giving nostalgia, right? I'm thinking that whoever your person was, you were really drawn to them. They were drawn to you. And you guys had some very, 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 very intense and amazing conversations. You could have talked about some of everything from politics, religion, fashion, love, history, everything. And it felt like your souls were like intertwined together, like you were one person. When you would talk to each other, you love spending time with this person because they made you just feel so comfortable and loved, and it's like you knew them already from like a previous lifetime. And some of you may have met this person in a previous lifetime or previous lifetimes. Okay. The timing, wow, as soon as I said that, the timing just wasn't right for us. I'm getting at the time, this specific person could have been involved with a lot of things at once. Some of these ex-lovers were still tied to previous romantic partners, and they weren't being perfectly honest with you about that. And another thing that I'm getting is that this person One of these ex-lovers could have been dealing with some family issues. And you know, sometimes life just hits us out of nowhere with a lot of different things at once. It's like a hurricane. This person could have been dealing with issues with paternity. They could experience loss in a family, like passing of a loved one, like they experienced some type of loss. They could have, in some cases, some people could have lost their jobs. Um, some people were having their own internal conflicts that had nothing to do with you. They were dealing with demons from their past. Some people struggle with their identity, meaning that they could have been one way, but they hid that from you and they didn't want you to know at the time how, like, no offense, how fucked up they really were. And they didn't want you to be a part of that. And another thing I'm getting is that they just didn't know how to tell you what was going on with them. Like, again, I'm getting this sense of emotional detachment. Some people could have been in the streets and for the streets at the time. They could have been battling like sex addictions, alcohol addictions, drug addictions, you name it. But they weren't being honest with you about it. And now we're going to go to I lost myself for a little while. And that's what I'm getting with the timing just wasn't right for us. I lost myself for a little while. Okay, this person was really going through some uphill battles and they were not being honest with you at all. This person could have just been out there just living life just willy-nilly, not caring about anything but the like not when it come they didn't even come to the conclusion that certain things were affecting their health. I'm getting that a lot. Some people could have just been out there having unprotected sex, not protecting themselves. They got caught up in a certain lifestyle. They could have came up on some money, some type of inheritance or something. They started feeling themselves. They could have changed their appearance before they got with you and started feeling themselves. And thought that some people thought they were a little better than you. I'm not going to lie. And they were caught up in this facade of what life was at the moment. Yeah, some people were caught between a rock and a hard place when it came to their lifestyle. And some people didn't even know what they wanted. Like, they didn't even know what they wanted in a relationship. And some people wanted to have their cake and eat it too. And that explains why I left when I saw you with someone. In this case, if you left, if you were the person that left this person, because this person had lost himself for a while and they just didn't know how to come at you and say, hey, well, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. Can you understand? Or do you understand? Or can you meet me halfway? And now they're regretting things, wishing that things could be different. They wish that things could be better because they knew that they were responsible for a lot of the things that happened in a connection. And it could have been, this could have happened because of their own insecurities I'm getting, and immaturity, and lack of understanding certain things when it came to their behavior. And that flows right along with, it was my fault, but I blame you. Yep. It was my fault, but I blame you. This person did not want to take accountability for their actions. It's giving narcissistic vibes like, oh, like this projection, like, oh, it's your fault, like gaslighting. Oh, didn't you notice that I haven't been calling you, or I haven't been texting you, or I blah, 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 blah. I haven't been dealing with you, da, 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 da. But at the end of the day, it's like this person still loved you unconditionally, and they blamed you for a lot of things that happened in their life when it had nothing to do with you, which is crazy. It's like they were projecting, gaslighting, like the things they blamed you for were the things that they were really guilty of. I feel you leaving me behind. Of course. Why not?